Corgi. Good morning. This is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and talented T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi. Lisa is your dog watching with you. And we're going to talk today more about the things that we learn from dogs. And this is one of my favorite subjects to talk about. And that is the virtue of curiosity. You know, we all think of curiosity. Oh, curiosity killed the cat. But the cat had 9 lives, so maybe it gave him a chance to learn and grow, which is why we have curiosity. Dogs are noted for their curiosity, and that's something that we could learn from them. And what curiosity is a strong desire to learn something or know something, to actively seek out information. And our dogs do this all day long with us. And probably the best example I have of this in an animal is with a horse, actually. And he was a chestnut thoroughbred gelding. Chestnuts are known to be super sensitive, kind of naughty because of that, and very emotional and very kind of flighty. But this horse did an amazing thing, and he was like this all the time. And he was a very successful racehorse prior to this person getting him. And we were having a big clinic at the farm, and you know, we all ride in the indoor ring, go in and out all day long. You can look out your stall door, look down, see what's going on in there. But we had been starting to set up for the clinic, and near the door, somebody had put a folding chair with a jacket and a purse on it. And this girl was just bringing him into the ring to have him have a look. And such a great horse person she is. She just let him go at the end of his long rope. She wasn't encouraging him. She wasn't trying to hold him back. And he just walked down the aisle, got his nose in the ring, looked over at that chair, did a little snort like horses do, like, and then he continued to walk forward. He never took a step back. And he got up to that chair, reaching out with his head, like ready to run, because horses, like dogs, can turn or fight in an instant. Until he got all the way up to the chair, he touched the coat. He sniffed around. It might have even been a person he knew. I mean, I'm sure it was somebody he knew's coat. And eventually he was sniffing it and picking it up. And that is where curiosity will get you. Now, some of the other horses that were more afraid wouldn't even go in the ring. So they may have missed the opportunities that this guy found, which was, you know, lots of treats and congratulations, you made it into the ring. So in that case, you know, it was a human set up situation where that horse's curiosity was rewarded. But with our dogs, so many times when they investigate something, they have a good experience, like a new dog, or looking for treats around the house, or trying to eat something that fell on the floor that they were not offered previously. Curiosity can be really helpful. And it's, you know, what curiosity really is looking actively for new experiences. And this is part of what is intelligence, because new experiences give us the opportunity to learn. And learning makes you smarter over time. It makes you wiser. You have more experience in the world. It makes you more successful as a wolf or a fox or a dog or a cat or a person in the world. And one of the other interesting things about curiosity is that it makes you make connections between the new information and information you know. So when that horse was smelling that coat and it smelled like somebody he knew, he was like, oh, this thing can smell like this person, but not be this person. This person's good, therefore this thing must be good. So they can make connections like that. Another sign of intelligence. And for years, we didn't think any animal could do this. Thank God that people outside of the behavior sciences have been bold enough. Well, I shouldn't say all of them, because sociology is sort of a behavior science, but people in sociology, anthropology, you know, all these other fields have done tremendously beneficial research on animal intelligence. And so now we learn that animals can make connections between things. Well, anybody who's ever lived with one, no matter what it is, we all knew that already. So it allows us to take two pieces of information and put them together and say, make a new conclusion. That is a sign of intelligence, and that's what curiosity gives our dogs and gives us. And curiosity teaches us about exploration and investigation. And then ultimately, if you have been curious over the lifetime of your experience, you start to make fewer errors in your decision making. So young animals are often more curious than older animals. You'll see wild animals really kind of keeping an eye on the kids when they're exploring things to see what's edible, what's not, where we can go, where we can't go, what's safe, what's not safe. And the reason they're even checking that out is because of their curiosity. And so we need older and wiser people or animals of our species to give us direction, but that comes from their willingness to be curious and your willingness to be curious to find out about these new things. And thank God for curiosity, because that has led us to innovation and creativity. And there's that great commercial where they're about to throw a guy in the volcano because they haven't had any rain. It's like kind of a joke. Maybe it's even a Geico commercial. I don't know. And he says, wouldn't it be better to just get some kind of tubes that can move the water from the lake down to the fields? And he's like, no, could never happen. And the guy says, you're right. And he jumps in the volcano, and then 2 minutes later, they're like, well, it's not raining. That guy's curiosity and willingness to step outside of, the conventions is what led to things like aqueducts and irrigation. And so we need curiosity and innovation. Like, isn't there a way we can do this? And I love when we're doing a T-Touch class, curiosity is always something we talk about. And it's always something like, let the dog explore, and then also with us as participants, let's be curious and see what happens if we try this and this, and you've got the person often with the dog who's new to this work sitting there and saying, oh, he's always done this, he's always done that, oh, he won't like that, he won't like this, I haven't had a good luck with that. So Linda, and any practitioner really, and even in cranial work, will say, let's be curious and see what happens if we do it the way we're going to do it now. Let's be curious and give them another opportunity. So curiosity is what allows us to learn. And one of the things they found, if you allow group work to exist within curiosity, that you get better group work, because people together, you're saying, okay, here's the problem. Let's brainstorm how to solve it. And people are curious about different ways to do that. And the group becomes a cohesive organism instead of, well, Bob's got a good idea. The ideas build on each other until you've got one good idea. And that encourages group work, and it increases people's ability to work together. And the same with our animals. Another horse, watching that horse that went into the ring and was scared of the coat on the chair, would see that horse went in and learn from that horse and go in the ring. That's another thing we always do in the kind of training I do with animals, is let them watch another animal confidently do the thing that they're curious about doing and nervous. And that's another aspect of curiosity, confidence. Curiosity is born from confidence. When you know that you're confident that that thing will not harm you or might be good for you, your curiosity is much higher. So having confidence is really, really important. And the only example I can think of right now, because I'm up to my eyes in snakes in my yard, I had an apparently dead one yesterday in the yard. And, the way that Brian handles them, and even my friend Mona who gets them, they just really love them, and they treat them in this tender, compassionate way. And so with them, I am a little more curious. Like, I can kind of look over and see a little bit. But when I've got other people that are not really into them, kind of scared and nervous, I also stand back a little and be like, I'm not coming over there because you're nervous, and I don't want to be around you if you're nervous with that thing, because I am already nervous enough for 4,000 people. So confidence can be born from another person's confidence, like the lady with the horse. She was holding him calmly. She wasn't pulling on him. She knew that he wouldn't run her over. If he got loose, so what? So she just let him go to the end of his rope and do what he was going to do, and was hanging out, chit-chatting with us. She wasn't even really talking to him and saying, easy boy, good boy. That never works anyway. But just because she was talking with us and breathing and keeping a conversational tone and not really even looking at him, he was able to go to the end of his rope and just explore and figure out what he wanted to do. So curiosity is a very valuable thing, And right now, with so much going on in our environment, and you know, with the virus and with protests and with activism, curiosity is something that can really help us. It can really benefit us. And having the confidence to take chances and try new things and do different things. I mean, if you get to the store and they don't have what you're looking for, you have to try something different. That's where your curiosity comes in. And if, for instance, it's olives, let's say, because they are a bit scarce, and you're going to get olives you've never had before, you get that curiosity like, this one's from Spain. I wonder if they're better than that one. And you're making that choice, but part of that choice is coming from your curiosity and your confidence that every olive is good. Let's face it. If you like olives, you rarely ever have a bad olive. So the confidence is that no matter what you choose, you're going to have a good outcome. And that's just a really simple example. So learn from the curiosity of our dogs and look for different times in the day, like when you're walking, and see examples of your dog being curious. You know, putting a different treat on the floor, giving them a different kind of toy, not just a new squeaky toy, but like a whole other kind of toy. One of my friends always makes for my puppies, out of her kids' socks, a big knot of socks that they get to chew up. And it's this big ball of socks by the time she's tied it. And she used to tie them into bunnies and cats and things. They were really cute. And my dogs love to play with them. But when I first give them to them, they're so different than any other kind of dog toy they've ever seen. They're a little nervous. And you have to be excited about it and be like, look, play with the bunny, play with the bunny. And then the dog is like, ooh, how exciting. So look for times in your day when your animal is curious, and take a lesson from him and try to find ways in your life to be curious. Try new things, look at different things on TV, read different kinds of books, you know, do different activities that you wouldn't normally do, and see what happens, because often it's a good thing. So thanks for joining us today for this episode of Conversations with a Corgi. We will be back tomorrow for more lessons from dogs. Everybody have a beautiful day. It is sunny and lovely out, and thanks for joining us.